Indie Mogul.
A film rumored to be so complicated it takes multiple viewings to understand it. Ka-ching! You're watching Beyond the Trailers review of Inception.
I think I found a way home. And this last job, that's how I get there. Dreams feel real while we're in them. It's only when we wake up that we realize something was actually strange.
Christopher Nolan's work on the Batman franchise has elevated him from a compelling auteur with little luck at the box office to one of the medium's greatest directors. In fact, he's the only filmmaker yet to challenge James Cameron's box office supremacy. Yes, I'm talking about
The Dark Knight.
Yes, thank you, Warner Brothers. I'm talking about The Dark Knight, a film that proved so successful in every category that Warner Brothers gave Nolan carte blanche to make any film he wanted. A sort of carrot to get him to hurry up with the sequel to
The Dark Knight.
This is not a sequel to The Dark Knight, and setting it up as a de facto one is risky business, Warner Brothers. I mean, what if audiences don't find Nolan's story of a dream thief's last heist gone wrong as fascinating as his Gotham opus?
The Dark Knight.
I get it, alright? But let's not forget what happens when studios give their artists free rein. The artists tend to hang themselves with all that rope.
Dark Knight.
Okay, indisputably, Nolan hit a home run with The Dark Knight, but Inception is rumored to be a very complicated movie that is difficult to follow. It's going to have to make a lot more money than DiCaprio's last mind movie to make Warner Brothers happy and not hurt Nolan's reputation.
Dark Knight. Dark Knight. Dark Knight. Dark Knight.
That's not a legitimate marketing campaign, Warner Brothers. This studio hasn't let Inception stand on its own at all, but once it gets past its first weekend at the box office, it will have to. Although, The Dark Knight was a really good movie. So I'm here with the BTT viewer, Dominic. Where are you visiting from?
Florida.
Oh yeah, so you came to see Inception today?
Yes, I did.
How was it?
It was quite good.
Danny, it's your birthday, and you've seen Inception as a birthday treat. Was it?
Yes.
Oh, you liked it?
Yes.
Everyone, Tom Chattelbash back again with us.
Yes.
Inception. How was it?
All hail Nolan. Yes.
Is he worthy of worship?
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, this is just an incredible movie, I have to say.
Is it as good as The Dark Knight?
I think it's better than The Dark Knight.
Oh my God.
I do.
Oh, sacrilege, speaking of worship. Is this movie as good as The Dark Knight?
In a different sense, yes.
They're so different, I think. Like, this one kind of like really forces you to question your reality, whereas The Dark Knight kind of was like, it questions like people.
In some ways, I think it's better than The Dark Knight.
Ooh, how so?
More thought-provoking, a little deeper in the brain.
No, it's not as good as The Dark Knight, but it was quite good.
I didn't particularly like The Dark Knight.
Oh,
And I like this much, much less.
So do you think people who are looking for The Dark Knight 2 will be disappointed or happy? What do you think?
Yes, because this is two totally different movies, and if you're a fan of Memento, which was, in his earlier work, then you're definitely going to love this.
I think the story may have been a little too complicated than it really needed to be.
It's just on a whole different level. I'm still my mind is still blown.
It seems to me that the filmmaker was so interested in ensuring a necessity for people to have repeat views in the theater and repeat views on DVD that they made it too complex to understand in one viewing.
One showing or 10 showings, I don't think you'll ever quite understand it. And I think Christopher Nolan is playing one hell of a trick on the audience.
I don't think it's a mainstream movie. I really don't. I think that it's going to get a little backlash because of that. Like, some people will go in and they'll be totally confused. So you're going to get a lot of that.
Anybody that's seen any of his other films, they're really going to like it. I think it's going to be a cult classic. Many people are not going to understand it in the first showing, and they're going to have to come back 2 or 3 times.
Could you understand it in one showing?
No, I think I have to see it again.
Will you see it again?
I want to.
The second time I saw it, I saw so many things I didn't see the first time. You catch on to all these things that make sense now, and also Ken Watanabe. He's very hard to understand, so I actually got to understand some of the stuff he said the second time.
Oh no!
I'm going to try to avoid playing into their hands in terms of seeing it multiple times at full price, but I might go back and look through it on a DVD at some point.
From a writer's perspective, it's bananas what he did.
It's not really like a popcorn movie, but
okay.
it's definitely still a movie that you should go and see.
One of the best things about the movie was just to hear Edith Piaf singing once again in bits and pieces.
Oh,
Finally, something human.
I think the emotional component of it felt a little forced. I mean, it worked, but it didn't feel completely into the movie.
I think it was trying to do so many things at once that it didn't do the really important ones as well as it could have.
Who do you think did the best job in the movie? Which performance blew you away?
Gordon Levitt.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He surprised me.
Ellen Page, I was like, we've never really seen her in like a really serious role like that, and I thought she did a really, really good job.
I liked Cillian Murphy, I liked Marion Cotillard, and I liked Tom Hardy.
Why do you think it's getting such amazing reviews?
People are bamboozled. They're intimidated by pretension. And this is an extremely pretentious movie. I find most of Christopher Nolan's movies very pretentious.
Well, Christopher Nolan is becoming like a major director. Right? What do you think his trademark is?
That he always leaves at the end of his movies, he always leaves you thinking.
He loves starting at the end and then going back to the beginning. He loves doing that, and it pretty much works for almost all the movies he uses that for.
He tries to use shock and awe on the audience so much that in the way he gets in the way of his own message.
Christopher Nolan's just a genius, so it's one of those things where you kind of just put your faith into it and you walk out like, that movie just changed like my entire perspective on things.
So you think he'll be known for more than just directing The Dark Knight?
Oh, definitely. This movie right here is going to put him another step above.
You think he might finally get some Oscar recognition this year?
I should hope so.
Quite possibly, because these are the type of movies the critics seem to like.
Yes.
So, it's a divide between the critics and the regular moviegoers. Regular moviegoers might pan it a little because they don't understand it, but in terms of filmmaking and on artistic value, I think he probably has a better shot with this than he did with The Dark Knight.
So he might have to trade a little off of audience
Right.
appeal for his Oscar.
Right.
What do you give it on a 1 to 10?
15.
Between like an 8 and a 9.
I guess about a 6.
A 9.
8.5.
8.5.
An 8.
Definitely 9.
2.
A 10.
I think I'm going to give it a 10.
So overall, audiences give Inception an 8 because I guess Christopher Nolan made a genuine piece of artwork here, and people are conflicted. What do you think? Inception is the focus of this week's one-sentence review challenge, and if you've seen the movie, leave your 1 to 10 rating below, as well as your one-sentence review. Whoever writes the best one gets a free pair of AMC movie tickets, and I'll announce the winner this Sunday on my Facebook page. I'm Grace Randolph reporting from AMC Empire 25, and I hope you'll go beyond the trailer for these other top movies. Anything else you want to add?
Just that Beyond the Trailer is a great YouTube show. So
Thanks, Dominic.
tune in.
Thanks for visiting.